are actually
Are from
Middle East. That's the Muslims. Right? And the big argument with the Muslims is they claim that blessed one was Ishmael, and Isaac, which is the other son that God has recognized, is the blessed one. We're like, no. Isaac is the blessed one. So this is kind of one of the, like, you know, it's like I said, the father of Abraham, the Abrahamic religions are considered Judaism, Christianity, and Islam because they're connected. They're so connected. Okay, so that happens. And then after that, he's like, okay, I'll tell you what. I know you want kids, but you are a faithful God. You did something wrong. You did something wrong, and I don't like it. And I'm not going to recognize him as your son. Right? I'm not going to recognize him as your son, but I'll tell you what. I'll change your name from Abraham to Abraham, which means the father of many nations. And you...
What? I didn't hear from Abraham without the A-M to Abraham. Abram to Abraham.
Thank you. Change his name, and Abraham means the father of many nations, which is befitting. Saria, which means princess, my princess, to Sarah, which means princess. So her name was changed too. Saria to Sarah, or Sarah. So that's kind of the what I got for the day. I thought it would take longer than that. I'm surprised I got it done that fast. I hope I didn't jump anything. Yeah.
We don't want to fail.
I don't know. I hope. I didn't look at my notes a lot, so I don't know. I talked about Abel and Kyle.
I got a question.
You want me to tell you guys what the dispute was about? Abel and Kyle?
No.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, you can talk about it.
That was it.
What? What did she say?
Well, you guys don't want to know. No. I'll answer it real quick, okay? Because we have some time. It's actually kind of ties in with what I was saying earlier. So when Cain was born, he had a twin sister. And when Abel was born, he had a twin sister. Now there's nobody else around, so they got to marry each other. But Adam was like, I want to kind of, and you find this in the book of Kufali, which is part of the 81 books. I don't know, I'm not going to say it in English. It means to separate, basically. So it's Genesis, like, added on more things that you don't find in Genesis, you find in the book of Kufali. So in there we find that Abel had a twin sister and Cain had a twin sister. Now Cain's twin sister was attractive, whereas Abel's twin sister, not so much. So what happened is Adam said, switch. I don't want y'all like your own twin sister. Like, let's push it off a little bit, right? So Abel was like, yes. Cain was like, ugh. Right? so he was mad. He was like, no, I wasn't like, come on, man. Like, this is not fair. So what ended up happening is they went to the father and said, yo, we want like the attractive one. He said, get an offering, right? Get an offering. And what ended up happening is Abel gave his heart to the offering. Not because he wanted the girl, but because he wanted to make God happy. And if you read what it says God first looked at Abel and then looked at his offering. Looked at Cain and then looked at his offering. You see? When you pray, God doesn't listen to you. He looks at your heart first. How are you speaking? Is it pure? Or are you just talking to talk? You see, are you really coming here to beg me? Or are you like just speaking because it's time for prayer? You see? And then he looked at his heart wasn't pure, he's already mad, and Cain was in it for the wrong reasons. He didn't give it his all. So, his offering wasn't accepted. He was mad, therefore killed his brother. And why is this important? Cain's twin sister is attractive. Cain's descendants were attractive. The children of men. Because Cain's side is attractiveness. That's what it was. So you can make that connection. I never said that. I never said that. So that was the connection. Questions. You had a question. Okay.
Yeah. So I hear a lot about the descendants of Ham being cursed, and they supposed to be like African American, black people, like black people and stuff like that. All Africa or whatever.
Yeah, that is true. But so the whole thing is, what happened is in Genesis chapter 8 or 9, one of the two, Noah gets drunk, Like he's like, you know, this is after the flood, whatever. He's like, oh man, it was like a rough 40 days, you know. He's like, woo, you know, I need a drink for that one, right? So like he's you know he's handling his farm, whatever. He drinks a little too much, he gets drunk. So drunk to the point that he loses all his clothes. He's naked. He's on the floor. Ham comes and he's like, ha, like this old man, you know. He's like, yo, Yafit, shame, right? Or shame. Come look at this, right? Check this out. And he points at Noah, and then he says, yo, this guy is drunk. Come look. And then one of the brothers say, what are you doing, man? Like, that's our father, right? Like, come on. So he says, without looking, he steps backwards and puts clothes on Noah, without looking, and he covers him up. Here's the thing. Our fathers will fall. Our fathers are going to fall. Our job is to cover them up, not to expose them. Who exposes their own father, right? Today, yes, our church fathers have made mistakes. Yes, they've done wrong things, but our job is to cover them up, and that's what the purpose is supposed to be about. When they sin, when they do wrong things, we hold it in. To expose, we don't do that. Now, because he was doing that, it just so happened, as all this stuff was going down, Noah was waking up, he heard what Ham said, he woke up and he said, with that, you are cursed. Ham goes, and then like I told you guys, the 3 kids separate and they go in their different way. Ham goes to Africa. No. You know what I mean? Why Ham? You know, like go to Asia. You know, like why Africa? So the whole thing is, you know, because, you know, Ham is cursed and his descendants are cursed, is that why Africa is the way it is? Like, that's the question that a lot of people ask. The answer is no, because Christ died for us on the cross, and there's no more curse. It's simply, it ends right there. You know, so because Christ has died for us on the cross, there's no more curse. He's destroyed all these curses. Now, we're lazy. So we as a nation, especially Ethiopia, we're extremely lazy. This is not God's. God didn't do anything. The devil didn't do anything. Now, I always say this. Sometimes, like, I feel bad for the guy, man. Like, the devil doesn't do anything, but we blame him. Right? It's kind of like, you know, like, a guy is, like, on the edge of a mountain, like, going like this. And the devil's in the bottom. He's like, yo, if this guy falls, he's going to blame it on me. You know, all the devil means, no, he didn't. You know, you did this. So that's the same thing with us. We're lazy, and the people back home are lazy, and we don't want to help our own people. That's why Africa is the way it is. It's because we're selfish. It's because we're corrupt as a nation. It's because of our fault. It has nothing to do with God. It has nothing to do with the devil. It has everything to do with us. We'll leave that alone. That's too politics for me. All right, yes.
What chapter was the word Noah died in?
Let me find out. Genesis 8 is what I was going.
Genesis 8?
Nope.
Genesis 10?
No more questions.
9,
Uh-oh.
verse 18 to 28. Question.
Oh, I was gonna ask. I know when I read about when Abraham. I guess my question is about the Melchizedek, like the whole priest thing. What? How does?
Very good. Like I said, I couldn't get into it. That's a very, very good question. He's actually the one that gets the least amount of like he's must talked about character, but he's only mentioned twice. Melchizedek is a character we're introduced to. He has no parents. We don't know anything about his parents, right? He's the first king that's a priest that meets Abraham after a war breaks out of Lot. Get this. So then Abraham makes an offering to Melchizedek, and then Melchizedek blesses him, and that's their interaction. That's the only thing we're told in Genesis. We don't meet him again until Hebrews, when Paul references Melchizedek. And then he says, Christ is the true Melchizedek.
Right.
Without a father and a mother. You see? Because we don't know where this guy came. He just showed up. The priest and the king, who is Christ, right? Who made the offering. Christ is the offering. He made the offering. He accepted the offering. So he's making the connection between Melchizedek, the character, and Christ, or Melchizedek, who symbolized Christ. You see? So he's a very key player, but unfortunately, he's mentioned only 3 times in the Bible, if I'm not mistaken. But, Christ is referred to as the real Melchizedek. So very good. That's more theology. Very good. Very good. Other questions?
You
have to go for another hour. We have to go for another hour.
I don't know. Don't be serious.
No, he's
I'll just stand here.
Come on.
No, I'm not gonna stop.
I know.
No.